Hi everybody, this is a video to show you how to take to Design Space this project, which is this frame which has a PVC glass, for want of a better word, and this artwork that's inside it. This is a bit of an unusual project for me really, but a few weeks ago when I was on YouTube doing something else, a video was recommended to me, and it was about this craft called iris folding, which um, I've lived to my long age and I've never heard of it before. So I had a watch of this video and I thought, oh, that's lovely. And I bought some secondhand books from World of Books. And I've created this little project just as a first have a go project at it. So it's this technique where you have a cutout on top and then underneath it you fill it in with this paper that's placed down, different designs of it, in a special order that creates this iris, sort of a camera shutter effect, I suppose. And I made this just with lots of different coloured, lots of different prints. I got some plain white 160-gram paper and I got some digital papers off Etsy. I didn't use any of my own for this, and I just printed them. These are all clover, shamrock, Irish themed prints, Irish tartan there. And I made this frame to go around it, and so there it is. It's just my little go at an iris folding project, and we'll see how this goes. If people like it, I'll make another one, and if they don't, I won't. I'll stick to doing it for myself. So let's go into Design Space and we'll see what's involved. I'll bring in the frame first because the frame is included. It's a lovely big rectangular frame, and for a few videos I'm going to bring things in from scratch because I've been getting, since Design Space updated, I've been getting more and more messages from people saying that my files won't go into Design Space, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's because you're trying to bring them in a different way, but I want to show you how I would do it. So you've opened Design Space, you've clicked New Project, you go to Upload Image, and then at this window here it says Drag File or Browse. Well, I never drag because I've always got the full window open in Design Space and I only have one monitor. So it would be a pain for me to close things down, make windows smaller. So I just click Browse because for me it's much quicker. Then you would navigate to wherever the file is on your system. By default it's going to go into your downloads folder, isn't it, if you've just downloaded it from Etsy. But I've already got the folder open, and obviously it's in one of my working folders because I created this. So the file for the frame, unsurprisingly, is called frame. And it looks like that when you bring it in. You don't need to do anything. It's just got these extra steps and it puts it on this background that looks as if you have to do something, but you don't. Just keep hitting unload, and under the new update it ends up straight on your canvas rather than just in your Design Space library. So it lands on your canvas and it's selected. So the first thing we need to do is ungroup it. I'm on the desktop version. Ungroup for me is at the top of the layers panel over here on the right. Then you're going to click on that second group down in your layers panel that contains all the cut pieces. You can see that this one's only got black lines in it. This one is where all the coloured pieces are. So you're just going to ungroup those. And don't worry that there's still a group there. If you can just see, if I can zoom in, there are little guides on this frame, which we actually don't need for this project. I might take those off when you get yours, or I might leave them on because it'll mean you can use the frame for other things. But anyway, you don't need to ungroup that little subgroup there. Leave that as it is. Then click on the group right at the top, which is where the lines that need converting to scores live. Once you've selected it, go to your operations menu, click on basic cut, which is what they're set to at the moment, but we don't want that, and then choose score from the drop down, and you can see that they've been converted now. And because there's more than one set, if we open the group you can see there's more than one set, we need to ungroup them. And so now everything on screen is a separate piece and we can attach the bits to each piece that we need to. This one where it's got the guides, you need to attach those. Even though it's a group, we still need to attach it, or those tiny little cuts will appear somewhere else. And as I just said, you don't need that for this project, but it's there in case you want to use the frame as something else. And these tiny marks indicate where you need to keep your artwork so it shows in the window. This blue bit, just bring that to the front, is the window that goes inside the frame. So you can see that those little marks just indicate that if you want to be able to see it through the window, that's where your artwork needs to lie. Don't worry about it for this project, you don't really need them, but you may as well leave them on in case you need them for if you decide to use the frame for something else other than this iris folding project. Then we've got two walls here. Obviously it's a rectangular frame. You need two short walls and two long walls. We'll just attach those before I don't forget. So once you've ungrouped and attached the score lines, you just need to duplicate those. Duplicate is there at the top of the layers panel, the little plus sign. If you're on your PC like me, you can just use Control D. Right, so those are all the pieces you need for the frame. It is quite a big project, this. You can make it smaller if you want to, but it's set up to be quite large at the moment. So, if you were making these frames, if you chose A3, you'd need 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 5 sheets of A3. I think it'll go on tabloid as well. Yeah, 5 sheets of A3 or tabloid. Yeah, the backing sheet fits on tabloid, that's good. To make the actual frame. As I say, you can make it smaller if you want to. It does end up being quite a big project. Right, so that's the frame. It is super easy, and obviously, as with all my SVGs, you do get, what's that there? I'm trying to find it. No, that's not it. You do get a PDF, it's in InDesign at the moment, a PDF of instructions for how to assemble it. Don't worry about those bits for the second. I show you how to do the iris folding first, which I have to say looks a lot more complicated than it really is. Once you get going with it, it's lovely. I will be doing a lot of that myself. This is the instructions for the frame. It is really easy to make. They go together in no time and they look beautifully smart once they're done. I actually do sell a bundle of 4 square frames made in exactly the same way, and they're really lovely. I like them because you could customize them in any sort of paper to match the project that you've got inside it. Okay, so back to Design Space. That's the frame. I'm not going to cut it, so I'll just cancel that. And we'll bring in the actual iris folding part of the project now. So again, I'm going to do it from scratch. Browse when I get to that window. I've called it Clover May the Road just because I'm probably going to make more than one. Just upload and keep uploading and it lands on your canvas as the other thing did. I'll just zoom out a little bit so it fits in the window. Right, so this one, again, just ungroup it when it lands on your canvas. Click on the second group down that's got all the cut pieces in it and ungroup those. And then the very top group, click on that, go to your operations menu, convert those lines to score and ungroup them because there's more than one. Right, so this is obviously it's the main, if we just flip back to a picture, it's that white sheet there which has the cutout in it that the iris folded paper shows through, and it's where you stick the wording. So that's what that part is. That's the actual wording, so we're just going to attach that so the letters all stay together, and it would look like that on your finished project. These are the strips of paper, all these are the strips of paper that you're going to use to make your iris folding. So before we do anything, we're just going to attach the score because you make lots of little strips of folded paper to do this project. And for this particular one, we need, I've used 4 colours. If I just go back on a close-up, yeah, I've used 4 colours. I've got the tartan, the large shamrocks, and then the little shamrocks. And then for the inner triangles there, you can see I've got this gorgeous dark green paper with tiny shamrocks in it. And I've used that same paper for the stalk of the clover and for those final internal triangles. So for each clover, we need 4 pieces of each strip of paper. So if you just select them all and then duplicate them once. In fact, no, what am I saying? You need 4 for each heart, but you need 16 of each one. So duplicate is up there. When I'm on my keyboard, I tend to just use Control D for duplicate. So that's what I'm going to do now. So we've got 4 of each one there. We've got 8 of each one there. So I'm going to select, I'm going to zoom out. I'm going to select all those and I'm going to duplicate them again. It's just going to think about it for a bit. And I'll put all those over there. Oops, I resized that then. We don't want to do that. And then these, they're exactly as they are. There's no duplication needed for those. The reason we duplicate it, the reason I don't give you 16 pieces of each one. Have I done enough there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. The reason I don't give you 16 pieces of each colour is because if I did them all, you would be attaching those scores 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 8, 48 times. And there's just no reason. When duplicate's really quick, it's better to just have them once, attach your scores, and then duplicate them. It's much quicker. I'm just going to nip back to the instructions and just make sure I've done that the right number of times. I made this a couple of weeks ago now and I'm only just getting around to actually putting it on Etsy. Haha! Duplicate pieces before cutting as shown in the video. But I do. You do, definitely. Let's have a look. Yeah, because look, there are 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 folds of each colour in one clover heart. So yes, you need 4 times 4, which is 16. Right, so we'll just have a quick chat about the iris folding. Part of your download includes this guide, and that looks hideously complicated, doesn't it? But it's just to show you how you lay the folded paper down. And don't worry, you get some really well-explained instructions of how to do this for those of you who've never done it before. I know I will be talking to people who've done this before because this is a really old craft. The books I bought are over 20 years old to show me how to do it. So that's your guide, which you print out, and then you lay your top sheet on top of it. You follow those numbers for the order in which you put the paper down. But this tells you which colours of paper you use for which number. So you've got a pictorial representation of it there if you like it in pictures, and you've got it written down in words and numbers over here if you like it in numbers. And then I show you how to actually set it all out, fold your paper, and then start to lay it down on your diagram. And you can see how it builds up. You work on the back of that big white sheet or whatever colour you make it that goes in your frame. You stick your paper down on the back, you keep going, and then you flip it over. I'll just zoom in if I can zoom in on that for you. You flip it over and it reveals your lovely work on the other side. It's really nice because you can't look at it until you've finished, and then you turn it over and you get this lovely thing that you've made on the other side of the paper. Or at least I love it. It's the first time I've done it. I really like making it. Okay, so we've duplicated and attached and we've got everything we need now to make this project. Click make. As I say, I did make this quite big, and therefore you need A3 or tabloid to cut out this sheet. It's too big for 12 by 12, but you wouldn't need to reduce it down a lot if you wanted to fit that onto sorry, I said 12 by 12, I mean A3. You wouldn't need to reduce that down a lot if you want to make this project on 12 by 12. But if you're going to do that, bring the frame in at the same time and reduce it all together, and then it will all still fit together. You know what I mean? Bring it all onto your canvas, keep the padlock locked, and reduce it at the same time. These bits, they're all going to go on A4. These obviously because they're tiny scraps. You can cut them from everything you want, and I did print mine. Oh, apart from that, you might want to just make that a different colour. We'll go back. That at the moment is set up the same colour as one of these, but because you'll be cutting that, I cut mine in HTV. I really like HTV on card because it cuts and weeds beautifully. You've got that lovely transparent sheet to use, so you can make sure it's straight on your paper, and you don't need to worry about any transfer paper you use ripping up your card, because once you've lightly pressed it, it only takes the tiniest bit of pressure and not very much heat either to transfer it onto your card. That transfer paper just peels away, and the vinyl is so fine with HTV. Just get rid of, I don't want that one, I want the pictures. Honestly, it looks like it's been printed nearly. I really love it. I really love to use HTV on card. It's a great way to go. I pressed too hard there with my mini press, can you see? And I just got the paper underneath. That's my fault for pressing too hard. So if you do it, don't do that. Okay, we'll hide that one. Back to Design Space. Right. So I've changed the colour of that vinyl now, so it's going to come through on a matte on its own. So again, yeah, at the size I've designed it, you need A3 or tabloid for that main front. We'll call it a canvas for want of a better word. And then all your little bits of paper will print on something tiny. And as I started to say about these, I printed mine, but you can get so many lovely 8x8 and 6x6 pads of printed papers that would be perfect for something like this. I've been looking for some Christmassy ones because I want to do some Christmassy iris folding projects. And so if you were doing that, that's what you would use. But I'm just choosing A4 for these because, as I said, I got some digital papers off Etsy and I printed them myself on A4 and then used A4 to cut mine. So if you were doing that, if you were using A4, you'd need 1, 2, 3. At the size I've made it, you'd need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sheets of A4 for all your strips. But as you can see on that mat, you've got loads of spare. So you wouldn't throw that huge piece away, would you? And if you're using 12 by 12, might be even better. So shall we go back here and choose, where's it gone? 12 by 12. I think everything will, you'll just get it all on one, won't you? Easily, definitely. And obviously it goes without saying that it will cut on letter paper too. These are tiny pieces of paper. Yeah, but obviously if you're using 12 by 12, you'll just need one sheet of each one. And again, you can get the lovely patterned pads, can't you, that are 12 by 12 too. So just one sheet of each design you chose there would be even better. And there's your bit of vinyl on a scrap. Right, I think that's all I need to tell you about this. If you've never done it before, you might be thinking, what's that got to do with Cricut? But and I suppose really in theory, you might be able to make this without a Cricut, but you've got that lettering that's cut in vinyl, you've got this front sheet that's cut out with your Cricut. I like it. I think it's just something a little bit different than just for me, a change from the bags and boxes and container type things that I make. Just something that's crafting for crafting's sake, I call it this. But I think it's quite nice. I wish I'd seen it sooner and I'd got this out for St. Patrick's Day. I think it could have been quite popular, really. It does look really nice as a finished project and it's an impressive size. Okay, if you've got any questions when you come to cut or assemble, or you need a bit more help with the iris folding, don't hesitate to get in touch. The links to do that are in the description below. And if you just stumbled across this video and you'd like to buy the SVG, there's a link in the description for that too. Don't forget, if you're purchasing 3 or more SVG files at one time from the Tanglecrafts Studio Etsy shop, the link is in the description, you can use the 30 for 3 discount code to get 30% off your total purchase. This offer runs all the time, but you need to use that code when you check out. And if you haven't already joined the Tanglecrafts Studio Facebook group, join now to get any special Etsy discount codes issued to group members and to take advantage of the free SVG files I give away in the group from time to time. The link to the group is in the description. I hope to see you there. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.